the background in that, the progress that we've made, when I first began discussing this with other legislators, there were a number of them that basically said, yeah, right, but this will never happen. And then some others began to, as I began to explain the logic of it, as well as present the research, they began saying, well, yeah, that makes sense, but you'll never be able to do, you could never do this. This is more than just David against Goliath. It just would be impossible for you to get something done. We did pass, and there had been a state senator, I forgot to mention, Senator Millie Peterson, that had tried to set up some legislation that would divide Granite School District. She was not able to get that through at that time, but she was helpful in furthering the cause while she was there as well. Finally, more and more began to realize, yes, this is a governance principle that is true, that will make a difference in building people. And so we were able to pass the first legislation. The problem with that legislation was that it required a vote from the entire district. And I think the reason why they allowed it to go through over their opposition from the district leader's standpoint was that they realized that they could play one side of the district against another. They could always say that there will be a loser and a winner, and you guys are the loser, so vote against it, and then it would fail. And so it wouldn't matter which side was trying to go for it, they wouldn't be able to be successful in passing it. I attempted to use that legislation down in the Alpine School District to create what we were going to call the Pioneer School District, which I think fit the name pioneering, and that is the Lehigh mascot thing. But at any rate, as we tried to go forward with that, they were able to paint this that, oh, Lehigh is going to suffer tremendously if they divide off. Orem will just get a break in their taxes. Lehigh will just be saddled with horrendous taxes. And there was enough of an outcry with, by those who didn't understand the financing issues and the fallacy of the argument that was put forth that they were able to get the county commission by one vote not to put it on the ballot. So the people never got a choice. It was decided by those three county commissioners, 1-2. Then, as we had gone through that, we realized that it's never going to work if you can play one side against the other. So finally, I tried to get some legislation that would just say what we need to do is have the entire state just say that there's a limit. Once you get to, say, 25,000 or 30,000, you need to just divide and have the state board do it or something. But that also seemed just improbable to pass that as a mandate. And so what we were able to do is compromise and just go back to the old Utah state statute that allowed a community of a certain size, it was a second-class city or larger, could divide and create their own school district. That legislation had been on the books for 75 years since the beginning of the state, until Sandy City was getting big enough to be able to divide and create their own, and they education people were able to get the legislature to repeal that law. Murray City was created under that law, Murray District, way back when. All of the districts were consolidated, because originally we had about 380 school districts in Utah. And then it was about 1915 that we consolidated them all into the districts that we have. But Murray did not want to be part of either Granite or Jordan District, and so they annexed enough ground to get enough people so that they could be a second-class city and create their own school district. At any rate, so we finally in 2006, I substituted a bill that would then just put that legislation back in place, and we were able to get that passed on the last night. We went through from the very beginning. It took the whole session to get there, but we were able to get that passed